Well, good morning, y'all. I thought I'd show you this book I've got here, the complete book of crafts, home crafts. This is an older book, and this cover's getting wore out, so I took it off because I don't want to tear it up. I'm going to have to get some mailing tape, put all over it, or something kind of plastic, seal it up to keep it from getting tore up. This is the book. And here we go. Let's see if it has a date on it. I don't see one yet. Let's see. Copyright 1974. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, there's a vest. This is a macrame vest. They tied strings. Instead of crocheting it or knitting it, you tie strings. You just use your hands and tie knots. See, that is macrame. This right here, you put it on something there, across there, and then you tie, just make ties. I know how to do it. I haven't done it in a long time, but once you learn how to do macrame, it's so easy you never forget. See, here's macrame. You put it, you got a foundation thing there to work on. It could be a rod of wood or metal or another string, just something to mount your other strings on. And then you tie your knots in different ways to make different stuff. It's pretty neat. I like it. I learned to do it in art class back in the 70s, and I liked it. And here's something where they used a ring. They put their strings on a ring and made some kind of a doodad. That way, and then you can make a belt. You can make all kind of stuff. All kinds of stuff. There's more. And now they're showing crochet. And this is a macrame belt. And there's more macrame. See the macrame wall hanging. You can put all kind of stuff in that, not just beads. You can put all kind of stuff in there. Use your imagination. There's some kind of a doll somebody made that holds things. I see some rings on it. And these look like necklace pendants in there. I don't know, I'm not sure what they are, but you can put whatever. Just use your imagination. Make all kind of stuff. And they used felt, and they used lace and cardboard and various beads and various things to make these angels with. You use fabric or whatever. Yeah, there's patterns for that stuff. Kind of neat, huh? Those angels, the Christmas tree angels, they take me back to a childhood at Christmases. Good memories. Christmases. And this is a purse that she made with beadwork on it. That shows you how to do that beadwork. And then there's some shells. Seashells. If I turn the page, there's all kind of doodads done with seashells. Yeah, you just do various things, with the shells. Yeah, put it around glue them onto frames, mirror frames, picture frames. And these bigger shells, they planted little plants in them. It's got a plant growing out of it. Over there. Kind of neat, huh? Now they're showing these pretty gemstones. See there? Pretty rocks, polished rocks. I like them. Show you how they attach those tops, metal tops, onto those rocks. It shows you how to do flower pressing. You put them in a book. I've never done that before. One of these days, maybe I'll try it. It says, don't shun anything in the garden. There is practically no leaf or flower lacking in possibilities. All kind of leaves and flowers you can use. And it names off all kind of flowers and different things. But look, after they're pressed, they put some on a lampshade. That's pretty. Those are real flowers. Put some in a picture frame. I've seen them framed before. They've got some in or on that bottle they used for a lamp base. Yeah, and that's just some stuff in a glass or whatever. Napkin rings, which nobody uses anymore. And they're talking about pressed flower pictures. And there's that lampshade. They put something clear over that. Let's see. It says paint one side of the bottle with a thin layer of clear varnish. Arrange the flowers in position. Leave undisturbed for about half an hour while varnish dries. Cover the flowers with another layer of varnish. Leave to dry if necessary, repeat with another layer. And for the shade, you glue the flowers and leaves on there. It says you use the adhesive sparingly. Then you cut a piece of self-adhesive plastic large enough to cover the shade and allowing a generous overlap. Well, you put that on there. It's like a clear contact paper or something like that. You put over that lampshade. It seals it in. Pretty cool. You can put anything in the world on them lampshades. And boy, that just gives me an idea. Well, anyway. They decorate lampshades to sell, but who would buy them? I don't know. I don't know. You never see lampshades. You never see decorated lampshades at craft sales. Never, ever, 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 ever. So, that's something to think about. And look how they did these. You just take a glass jar with a lid, turn it upside down. You can put anything in the world in there. Like that. Anything in the world. And here's weaving with straw. I've never done any of this before. Maybe someday I'll get a chance to. Wouldn't mind making a basket. I like baskets. Hand-woven baskets. See, there's a mat, a trivet, or just a table mat. Set something on. You start out with some sticks crisscrossed, and then you start weaving in and out. You start in the center and weave out. I wouldn't mind doing that. One of these days I'd like to try it. neat. They made just a simple wall hanging there. Simple. Some nice baskets there. Look at there. Picnic thing. Carry something in. Drinks. Whatever. There's a basket. See, they take these things and they bend them over something square and they start weaving it over something square. As a guide for when they start it. They weave in and out. There's a nice handy basket carrying stuff in. It says a 5-sided book basket. I don't know. And this shows weaving with plant fibers, leaves or whatever. It says take a bundle of rushes. I'm not familiar with rushes. It says take a bundle of rushes, a handful of leaves, yucca leaves in this case, and weave a picture. So you could use yucca leaves and weave. Well, we've got tons of those here in West Texas. Hey, I could probably just get some stuff out of nature here in West Texas and try doing some different weaving projects and just see what I can do with it. That'd be fun to do. Yeah. Something different. And look at this neat little thing somebody made. It looks like a boat, but it's they put flowers and dried stuff in there like that. You could put a little doll in there, little dolls, and like they're sitting on a boat. It's called a flower boat. That's cute. That is really cute. Oh, and now we're going to show you how to do paper mache. That's something neat to do too. Paper mache. Paper strip method. Just tear paper into strips, usually newspapers. It says, there are 2 methods of making paper mache. One, known as the paper strip method, involves tearing paper, usually newspaper, because of its cheapness and availability, into small strips. Soaking it first in clear water and then in a glue solution and layering it over a mold. The work will shrink as it dries to some kind of form is necessary for fruit bowls, jewelry boxes, or other hollow articles. The paper can be layered onto a suitable household object, a mixing or salad bowl, which can later be released, or a strong cardboard box, which can be incorporated into the material as it's built up. For flat articles, and since the soaked paper has first to be laid on something, a piece of cardboard will be adequate. And for figures and other models, an armature rough working model can be formed from twisted wire. Coat hangers are ideal, crumpled chicken wire, or even pipe cleaners. Pulp method. The other method is to pulp the paper and paste, liquefying it so that it has almost the consistency of modeling clay. Newspapers or molded paper egg cartons give a paper clay with a rather rough texture, not unlike modeling clay. To make this, tear papers or cartons into small pieces. Drop them one by one into a bowl of water and then squeeze out any further excess until you have a pulp. Put this pulp into an old pot or can. A galvanized bucket is ideal. Just cover with water and boil for about 15 minutes, stirring occasionally with a stick. You can make this pulp in advance and store it well wrapped in plastic bags indefinitely. When you want to use it, knead it with enough wallpaper paste mixed to a thick consistency to make it easy to work without being too sticky. The instructions in the following designs will give you full details about the qualities you will need. A fine paper clay can be made using the same method, but with toilet tissues or household paper toweling. This is sometimes recommended for a final surface on models built up initially of the coarse paper clay. In this way, the foundation of the work is quickly built up with the heavier material, and the details and finishing touches worked on the smoother surface. The properties of paper clay, whichever type of material is used, are surprising. For example, a small cardboard box covered with about 1/8 inch paper clay will dry out with the strength of a wooden box and will have an attractive, slightly rough appearance. A number of different finishes can be given to paper mache. Paint or color stains can be used effectively. Again, details are given with each design. To give a used appearance to your work, try painting over it with white opaque watercolor, Chinese white. When this is dry, apply a coat of dark oak varnish stain, and while this is still wet, wipe off with a piece of rag. This will give a rubbed antique finish. To make models resistant to water or even the elements, they can be brushed when thoroughly dry with 3 or 4 coats of linseed oil and then baked in a cool oven. It is important not to put the articles into a warm oven, as this would cause cracking. Well, how do you bake something in a cool oven? That's what I want to know. I don't understand that. I do not understand it. And then it's got more detailed instructions on how to get on into it. Well, this is pretty good. A lot of this I didn't even know. I've had this book for a long time, just now really looking at it. It's pretty cool. And then it shows something somebody made here. Look, they made a candle holder with paper mache. Now, they might have used some wood or wire inside of it to make it strong. Who knows? But looks like they might have. They used something. but it's pretty cool. I mean, you can do all kind of stuff with paper mache. That's what's so neat about it. Look, they made the three wise men, painted them gold. Ain't that pretty? For Christmas. Man, that brings back memories. That gives me nostalgic feelings. And they made a bowl, some kind of a different kind of a bowl there. Shows how they made a paper mache head. Made puppets. Ugly puppets. Ooh. All kinds of stuff. Golly, look at this. Lucifer and Beelzebub mask. I guess that's for Halloween. I wouldn't make those. To each his own. Lampshades made with newspaper. You take a lampshade. Well, they made the paper first. It says, okay, what you'll need is a 6-inch diameter ring, well, whatever lampshade size you need. Large sheets of newspaper, 1 heaping teaspoon of wallpaper paste, 1 pint of water, a bowl, a spoon, paste brush, clear household glue, paint, and trimming. Pour the water into the bowl. Add the wallpaper paste, stir well, and allow to stand for 15 minutes. This will give a thick paste which helps to strengthen the paper. Brush the paste over 1 large sheet of newspaper. Smooth a second sheet on top, pressing out any air bubbles. Repeat 3 times more so that your paper mache is 5 sheets thick. Smooth over to release air bubbles again, then leave flat to dry. Now, very carefully and accurately, mark out a circle with a 13-inch radius, and using the same center point for your compass, a concentric circle with a 4-inch radius. Cut away a wedge shape of about 1/4 of the circle and cut out the inner ring. Curl the paper into a cone section and glue the ends together. Check to see that the shape is even all around. Glue the lampshade ring into the top of the cone as far down as it will fit. Leave until the glue dries. Tear some newspaper into narrow strips about 4 inches long and 1.5 to 2 inches wide. Paste the strips or dip them into the paste and stick them over the ring to hold it into position. Cover the inside of the shade with 1 layer of pasted paper, pressing out air bubbles, and leave to dry. Cover the outside of the shade with another layer of pasted paper and paste narrow strips over the bottom edge to neaten it, overlapping them all the way around, and leave to dry. Then paint the shade thickly with paint, and when dry, glue the lampshade trimming or fringe around the outside edge. You know, I think you could also, for that last covering around it if you wanted to. You could paint it white and then glue a beautiful printed fabric on there. That's just an idea, or you could paint on it, paint a picture, whatever. Here's another one. Here's a lampshade made from scratch, completely from scratch, and they used a bowl. See, they used a bowl to mold it. Ain't that neat? That's a neat idea. I would have never thought of that. That is pretty neat. Look at this. They made a little ship, and then you can put whatever inside of it. Ain't that cute? Ain't that neat? They even made the rough ocean waves. They put a base under it, and they got the paper mache rough ocean waves, and they painted it. And there's the Viking men with their shields and whatnot. Ain't that neat? This is what you can do with paper mache. All kinds of stuff. And look at this. They made a horse and put a knight on it. Now that would be hard, kind of hard, I think, but they did it. But you can do whatever you want to do. Ain't that something? Texture painting. This is interesting. It says there's something immensely satisfying about painting with a trowel or a spatula or with your fingers. Described here is another form of finger painting, this time using spackle, water, and poster paint. The effects are pleasingly thick and have an interesting three-dimensional quality, and somehow the standard of the designs does not seem all important. After all, we are not pretending it's fine art. To create an impasto picture, choose a design of your own, either one you can draw freehand or can trace from a textbook or from a picture book, as in the case of this Egyptian head. Look in the beginning for simple subjects with fairly well-defined areas of colors. It is a longer, slower job to have to deal with more than 4 or 5 colors at a time. The directions given are to make the picture of an Egyptian lady as shown here and in color. You can insert string for hanging onto the back of the cardboard before beginning the work, or have the picture framed. You will need a piece of strong cardboard, 20 by 28 inches, a bowl, tablespoon, spackle to make. Well, and then it goes into details. But you mix up that stuff and put it on there and paint it. You mix different portions of it. You separate different portions of that spackle and add your paint to it in some cases. Anyway, look at this. They made a 3-dimensional thing there. That's pretty neat. And it goes on and on and on. There's a sculpture made where they used some wire mesh as the base for their stand-up figures. You see, they made stand-up figures. And then there's some stuff painted. So you put your paint on a surface, and while it's still wet, you take a fork or anything like that and score through it to make designs. Got all kinds of neat stuff in here. Yeah. Oh, I never heard of this. Art masking fluid. Art masking fluid. Huh. That's what makes these intriguing designs. I like that. It says, art masking fluid or liquid frisket is a pale yellow liquid sold in most art supply stores. When used on paper and allowed to dry, it forms a thin protective film that paint cannot penetrate. The colors go right over the art masking fluid, and when they, in their turn, are dry, the fluid can be peeled off very easily, leaving the paper blank underneath. You can use it in the following ways: with a paintbrush, spattered with a toothbrush, blown with a straw, or done in conjunction with folded paper butterflies, all of which techniques are described in this section. Oh. Other stuff I don't know anything about. And then there's dyed cloth. I don't know that much about that. Tie-dye. It shows you how to do some tie-dye. Tie-dyeing. So it shows you how to do that. They've got rocks or various objects they tie over them, and then they do that. There's show you the different ways you fold the fabric or twist it. And just fold it and then tie it and all kind of stuff. Get different looks when you're dyeing. So there is an art to doing this tie-dye stuff. There's an art to it. We did batik in art class and I just hated it. No, it was at screen. Silk screen is what we did. We silk screened. I hated it. We did that for the longest time. That was the only thing I did not like in art class was silk screen. And there's some other stuff in here. Talk about how to work with foil. What is it? What do they call that? Foil. You put foil on things. I don't know how they do that. I don't know if I'll ever want to do that or not. It looks pretty neat. I mean, yeah, they got it on there and there. It's all right. Sure, they made it pretty on them Christmas things. Look at those Christmas bells. Now, how'd they do that? There's some kind of a theater thing they did. That shows you how to make these silhouette things. You get somebody to sit in front of a light bulb and their shadow gets cast on that paper and you trace around that shadow. And that's how you do that. Make silhouettes. And there's paper curling. And there's a mask somebody made. Paper stuff. And There's that theater box. It shows you how to make that theater box. How to make a theater thingy for kids. Pretty neat, huh? It's so humid I can't stand it. Now we're getting into the sewing. Okay, this video is getting kind of long, so I'm going to end it and start another one.